Good afternoon. I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins. Today is January 21st, 2025, and this is our weekly briefing. We are going to have first our municipal guest that's going to be with us, the Briarcliff Manor Village Mayor, Stephen Vescio. Certainly, we're then going to talk about a few different things happening in Briarcliff. Then we're going to have our Commissioner of Susan Spear of Emergency Services come up and talk about go bags and family evacuation trips given the scenarios that happened out in California and certainly in North Carolina as well with flooding. And then certainly we're going to end up with our good friend, the Deputy County Executive, Richard Wisney, who will go through this week in parks. But we're going to lead off today with our municipal partner, the Briarcliff Manor Village Mayor, Stephen Vescio, who has a village of about 7,700 people nestled quite nicely on the Hudson, right between Ossining and Cortland Manor, and they do a fantastic job of having just a wonderful community, about 7,700 people that are in it, and a lot of the work that happens is a partnership between the county, the state, the local municipality on different things that are going on. But let's let him tell more about it. So with that, let's turn over to Briarcliff Manor Village Mayor, a good friend, I just say Steve Vescio. Come on up, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, County Executive, for having me here today to update everybody a little bit on what's happening in Briarcliff Manor. Also, congratulations on your new position. And Richard Wisney, I'd also like to congratulate you as Deputy County Executive, as well as all the others who have taken new positions. We're really lucky to have such a great team in place, and the partnership is proving results daily and moving Westchester forward. For a little village like Briarcliff, we actually have quite a bit going on right now. We're just about to start our downtown streetscapes upgrades, which is the first downtown sidewalk project in over 50 years. That's going to bring safety improvements with new wider sidewalks, improved crosswalks, drainage, street lighting, modified parking, landscaping, new street furnishings, everything. It's being supported by a $3 million New York State grant. Behind those stores on the east side, we have a cross access which will also open in this spring, that'll open this spring. That connects the stores and the parking areas behind, which will allow for safer and more efficient traffic flow in our downtown. It also opens up several new parking opportunities behind the stores. This was decades in the making. As people went through site plan approval, the village was able to acquire easements. On the west side, across from Village Hall, the village acquired 1050 Pleasantville Road. That's the former Wells Fargo building. That 2.41 acre parcel was acquired 2 years ago and is currently being considered for the RFEI that was put out. And it's anticipated that a developer will be selected in the coming months, and there'll be an announcement with our recently formed Local Development Corporation and the Board of Trustees. This project is anticipated to bring dozens of new apartments to the downtown, additional retail stores, a public gathering space, as well as municipal parking and a new justice center to house court and police at no cost to the taxpayers. These long overdue improvements will move the police and court out of their current facility right across the street at Village Hall, 1111 Pleasantville Road, and allow for the other departments in that building to spread out. This will allow them to be more accessible to the public, as the building doesn't have an elevator, but we did recently complete ADA improvements outside the building. We're continuing our push for the Route 9A modernization, also known as the Briarcliff Peekskill Parkway. That's something that the county has been critical in pushing forward. It's an important commercial corridor in our county, and the upgrades that are planned include new bridges, on and off ramps, drainage through the whole stretch, a new center median, wider travel lanes, and finally a pull-off shoulder. Phase 1 is beginning to be designed this year, thanks to $20 million allocated through New York State. We're going to continue to work with our county and our state and our federal partners to look for construction funding next. We keep working on our parks. We've upgraded play equipment at several parks, including Law Park, with an integrated play structure. And since we like to be efficient with our funds, we actually relocated and reinstalled that same play equipment at Jackson Road Playground, neighborhood park. Jackson Road Playground is also getting a new play equipment thanks to a grant from New York State. These long-term improvements, these improvements that we are performing here really benefit the community. We try to take a holistic approach and be smart about our planning. Sometimes that takes time to come to fruition, and sometimes when we get grant money, it takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it in the long run. We have a great partnership, as I said, with not only the county, but the town, our state, and even our federal representatives, and it's really great to see government working together for the benefit of the taxpayers. So we're very fortunate in Briarcliff, and we're very fortunate in Westchester with such a great team. So thank you again for having me here to speak about Briarcliff.
Thanks, Mayor. Stay up a second, Mayor. So Mayor Steve Vesio from Briarcliff Manor talked about all the great work that the village has been doing, again, with the partnership between the county, but also with the state representatives, both with Senator Pete Harcum and with Assemblymember Dana Levenberg, and certainly going up and down with federal partners, as well as the governor and the governor's office, making sure these things happen. But we, together with Westchester County and Briarcliff, worked through approving a $1.2 million bond act for a intermunicipal agreement with the village of Briarcliff Manor, paving the way for that $2.4 million flood mitigation project at Law Memorial Park, which the mayor just referenced as far as new equipment that's happening in the park. This initiative marks the county's continued efforts to address the challenges posed by the extreme weather. Some of you may recall that when last year we had some tremendous storms come through, and this was another example that showed the need to continue on the project. It didn't start the thinking, as course, because of the leadership of Mayor Vesio and his entire team in Briarcliff, didn't just start then, but again, it was echoing and showing how important it is for us to address these flooding issues around Westchester County. These planned improvements include upgrading two portions of the park's basin, installing advanced drainage along Pine Road to curb overland runoff, and creating an additional outflow from the park's pond to alleviate recurring flooding. Mayor, if you want to talk some more about that, love to have you.
Sure. It's a critically important basin in the village. It connects to our downtown. Not only do we have a playground there, we also have our municipal pool. And what happens is the holding pond next to the pool is at the bottom of the basin. So all the water from the Law Park drainage basin comes down to that area. It currently has one outlet, and if it's overwhelmed by too much rain or it gets clogged up with debris, the pond rises and the village pool gets flooded with sediment and everything else. So we have to shut it down for a period of weeks. Costs a lot of money, and during the summer, especially if it's hot out, we really need that pool. It's the only one that we have. This is phase 2 of our 3-phase solution to the Law Park drainage basin issues. Phase 1 was Tuttle Road, which was a 50-plus year project. There was no drainage there at all. We installed it. We installed new sidewalks. We installed new asphalt paving, and we actually extended the sidewalk since there was a gap missing. So now that whole area is walkable to our downtown. This phase 2 that the county is graciously working with us on is going to install drainage that currently doesn't exist at all on Pine Road from Birch down to Elm, and it'll install, very importantly, a second outlet from the pond out to the Pecanico River, so that during these larger storm events, we can preclude some of these financial damages and inconveniences from occurring. After this, we have one phase left, and that's to upgrade an undersized facility on Elm Road, crossing South State Road. It's a little bit complicated with some of the utilities there, but with this section being completed, and Tuttle Road takes care of many of the problems that we were experiencing. That was people's homes that were getting flooded up on Tuttle Road due to the lack of, on Pine Road, due to the lack of drainage. The water travels to surface. Now the water will be controlled in a pipe and directed where we want it to go. As it hit Elm, it would flow right over the basins because there was so much, and it would go into the church's property, which was another issue. So this is really going to have a real impact on Briarcliff, a real impact on the people of this area, and we are truly grateful for your partnership in this.
Mayor,
thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Really appreciate that. And again, Mayor Steve Vesio from the Briarcliff Manor Village, the reality again is that this is just another one of those projects, and again, it continues to show the partnership, the county, and all of our local municipalities, whether it's the village or town working together with our County Board of Legislators, with your Village Board of Trustees, and everyone working together to make sure that we're addressing affordability and things that happen not only just at the village level, but for all those homeowners and the church properties that continue to be flooded is something that's great. Again, congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right. At this time, we want to flip and we want to bring up the Commissioner of Emergency Services, Susan Spear, to talk a few minutes about go bags. You know, over the last few weeks, since the beginning of January, with all of the wildfires that were happening in California, that the system's getting overwhelmed. There's no plan to have 4, 5, 6 different wildfires happening at the same time. Tremendous responses from around the country and other countries to make sure that those folks in California can address the concerns. I mean, there's still wildfires burning. They're doing their best to get things under control and contained. But the reality is that the climate change and weather conditions make a difference. We have right now this week, right now we're in sub-zero temperatures, so make sure that people are taking care of themselves. So with that, I'm going to ask the Commissioner of Emergency Services to come up, and then she's going to bring folks along with her, including Phoenix. Commissioner.
So, thank you. So with me today is Niall Sally and Sam Fregis from our Department of Emergency Services and Phoenix. Just to make this a full circle Briarcliff presentation, Phoenix was adopted from the Briarcliff SPCA, which we highly recommend. They're wonderful people and they do wonderful work there, including getting Phoenix ready to help us become a first responder therapy dog with handler Sam. So I want to thank the County Executive, Ken Jenkins, Deputy County Executive Richard Wishney, and Director of Operations Joan McDonald for your leadership in recognizing the importance of emergency preparedness. As we watch the reports from Southern California of the tragic fires, our hearts go out to those who are impacted, and our respect and appreciation goes out to the firefighters, dispatchers, and other first responders there. But the stories from California are also a good reminder to us to be ready in case of a local emergency. Whether a fire, a flood, a hurricane, or a hazmat incident, everyone should be prepared. We urge you to prepare a go bag and have a family evacuation plan now, so you don't have to think about these things while the emergency is unfolding. Be sure to prepare a go bag and have an evacuation plan for each household member, including your pets. Take photos of important documents and medications and of family members and pets in case you get separated. Include battery-powered phone chargers. Have a meetup location that all family members are familiar with. Listen to local first responders who will have information about evacuation routes. Sign up for alerts. For a go bag, have water, non-perishable food, personal items, cell phone and charger and batteries, first aid kit, change of clothing, copies of important documents, and photos of important documents, and a medication list. And don't forget your pet items, water bowl, food bowl, leash, collar, and any other medications that your pet needs. So, plan ahead, pack a bag, stay informed. If you want more information about all of these things are on the Emergency Services website, emergencyservices.westchestergov.com. Please go to that website, learn how to pack a go bag, sign up for alerts. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is Phoenix going to say a few words? No, okay.
strong silent type.
Well, thank you for all of that with our emergency services team that's here this afternoon on the Go Bag to remind folks how important it is to make sure to prepare in that case. And again, in California, because of wildfires, more people would be more prepared for that, but you still couldn't prepare enough. On the East Coast, a lot of times people don't take those scenarios importantly, and they take them to heart and they don't prepare for them. There's many areas, and Mayor Vesio was just talking about some that were happening just in the village, but there's places around Westchester County that have these challenges on a regular basis. And because of that, you want to make sure to prepare that go bag, because you never know when you're going to have to make an important move. And make sure you go to the emergency services website at emergencyservices.westchestergov.com to see that list of information to do that. There's also a great program that the Department of Emergency Services conducts for emergency preparedness, which actually includes participation from New York State, and making sure that you can get even a little goodie bag that has many of the things in it. And everyone is smiling from emergency services because, again, it's a thing that happens with New York State. I think it's the Department of Homeland Security that helps us do that particular program, and they're shaking from the commissioner's head, so that's right. But that's another opportunity. And many local municipalities also have their emergency operation centers, and they also do that level of preparation. And again, you don't think you're going to need that, but the reality is these things happen, and they'll happen quickly, and you will not have a plan in place. The time to be, every emergency services personnel says the same thing. That's why they do so much training. They keep working hard to make sure that when a scenario actually occurs, that they're prepared and know exactly what to do. And we need to make sure that we do that in the case with go bags, to make sure that if there's flooding that happens in your area and you need to quickly evacuate and move out the way, especially in some of those areas. Again, we had those folks in the containment area from Indian Point, so they would be a little bit more prepared. But the further away you get from those kind of things, people take it for granted. Don't take it for granted, to make sure that you're prepared. And again, we're going to continue to have our thoughts, prayers, and contributions that can go to our friends that are in California facing those wildfires, but also the continuous work that's in North Carolina and other places for flooding, and now the historic storm that's happening, snowstorm, that's happening down as low as Texas, right? Where the mayor in Houston said, we don't do ice and snow well in Texas. And I could say, we wonder why, right? In the East Coast, we don't think about that. In Northeast specifically, we don't think about that at all. At this time, we're going to ask our friend, the Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney, to come up and let us know what's going on in Westchester County Parks. Deputy County Executive Wishney.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. I just want to tell you, Mr. County Executive, that those goodie bags you were talking about that are given out by the state, Phoenix even enjoyed my lunch twice while I was, he was jealous about the goodie bags. But anyway, we have a wonderful Parks Department that provides education and recreation throughout the year. And even though it's a very cold week here in Westchester, we do have a couple of programs that we'd like to bring to your attention. This Thursday, the Hilltop Hanover Farm Environmental Center, that's located in Yorktown Heights, they have a Farm to Fable program from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Ages 3 to 6 explore the whimsy of the world around them by combining storytelling and hands-on activities on the farm, straight from the tail. This event takes place indoors also on January 30th, February 6, 13, 20, 27, and in March, the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. Of course, we'll be reminding about those dates in the future. Also on Thursday, January 23rd, the Westchester Knicks are back, and they'll be taking on a team called the Maine Celtics. And we're very proud of those local Knicks who, as County Executive mentioned last week, provide the G League, where there's a lot of exciting players that wind up in the professional ranks, and you can see them right here in Westchester, very close up. It's a great opportunity for you and your family, especially in the cold weather. It's nice and warm in the county center. On Saturday, January 5th, at the Edith Reed Wildlife Sanctuary in Rye, waterfowl, migrants, and shorebird sightings. This is a program from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., and in the afternoon from 1 p.m. to 2:30. It's the right time to observe both types of birds in action, from the brackish waters of the lake to the salty shoreline adjacent to the Long Island Sound. Bring your binoculars and, of course, dress for the weather. At the Lenore Preserve in Yonkers, We also have a community science program. It's a climate watch from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. How can community members participate in conservation research projects? Join the staff in the meadow behind the mansion to learn about Climate Watch and how you personally can get involved. And again, dress for the weather. This program will also take place in addition to January 25th on February 1st. And then on Sunday, January 26th, what you've all been waiting for is the Westchester Wedding and Bridal Expo, especially if you have people getting ready to get married in June, as a lot of people do. They'll be able to visit the Bridal Expo from 11 to 4. It's a $10 general admission. And last but not least, for our folks that can visit the Edith Reed Wildlife Sanctuary in Rye, there's an animal tracks that's going to take place during the 2 p.m. to 3:30 area. Take a guided journey to identify different animal tracks throughout the sanctuary. That sounds like an exciting program, Mr. County Executive, and that takes care of this week's program.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's our Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney, is doing an amazing job that continues to do that. He's talking about all the skills that he's developed as far as the parks are concerned. We're going to work it in. I know that the commissioner and all the folks in parks always want us to say, DCE, that it's the nationally accredited award-winning park system. They'll make sure to tell you that when they're doing their retreat coming up in early February. Again, so thank you so much, Deputy County Executive Wishney. I had the privilege of being this week at the Rangers game on Saturday to be able to give out the Community Captain Award, joining Ranger alumni Stefan Mateo as for Nicholas Turner and the Vera program, Institute of Justice, and was able to present that award on behalf of the New York Rangers for Martin Luther King Jr.'s weekend, and certainly to continue the work that happens in so many of the communities around. And I want to thank the New York Rangers for allowing me to present that check to them. And also seeing a game with the Rangers getting the point. You know, at a tie, they said that I have to keep going. As long as the Rangers keep winning, they'll keep inviting me. So we'll see how that goes. This afternoon, we had a great opportunity to talk with Briarcliff Manor, the Village of Briarcliff Manor mayor, and is a good friend of all of ours, especially for me. Steve Vesio, who's done a tremendous job, continues to do a great job for the people in the Village of Briarcliff, and all of the programs that are going on, the investments that are being made by the village at no cost to the local taxpayers, and well as the $1.2 million from the county that's partnering with the village to be able to do a flood mitigation project at Law Park, and being able to help those local residents do their, make sure that their flood mitigation can work in a way that does not impact them or the local communities, things like the pool, which again are necessary recreational activities for everyone in the community. We are great to have all of the emergency services team with us, led by our commissioner, Susan Spear, and Phoenix, and Kim, and Niles, that comes up to talk to us. You're going to be a star. But another Village of Briarcliff alumni, mayor, to be able to make sure that that happens, along with the Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney, as well as so many other people that are great in our Village of Briarcliff. And finally, you know, at the end of the day, we're working so hard with everyone in Westchester County to make sure that our thoughts, prayers, and continued support for the people out in California, but also in North Carolina. There's still many things that are happening here in Westchester. We have some exciting announcements that we're going to continue to bring you during this week, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there. Make sure you're staying safe in this weather. Again, it's going, when I woke up this morning, it was 9 degrees, right? And that was before the wind chill. So again, I think that everyone should make sure that friends, family members, especially those that are seniors that may be in units by themselves, whether they're in a house or whether in an apartment by themselves, check in on them, FaceTime them, make sure that they're out there, whatever video conferencing system you want to use, to make sure that they're on, check on them, make sure that they're okay, especially in this weather. Again, you can get frostbite in exposing skin in seconds, so make sure you take care of yourself appropriately. I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you soon.